Hey guys, today I'm gonna tell you about this Indonesian flick from 2019 called New Rich Kids. Tika's a college student, and she's in a mad rush to get to class. She's got a turn in this handmade model today, but the bus is packed. By the time she finally gets there, she finds her project's busted. The other girls mock her, calling it a designer dumpster and laughing at her. Plus, she's from a poor family, which is another thing they joke about. My bro Tiki studies at a theater school and dreams of conquering the world stages. That's his life motto. If reality bites you, just bite it back. He tells his friends to dream big too, but that don't solve the money problem though. My lil bro Dodie goes to elementary school, and his crew often makes fun of his worn-out shoes and clothes. They low-key feel bad for the kiddo and hope his life turns out all right. Mom's busy with housework and always asking Sis to lend a hand, but Sis would much rather keep tabs on her friends who went to Paris, a place Tika can't even dream of visiting, because we're straight up struggling financially. It comes to the point that children are forced to take a bath in the same water, although after Tiki the bathroom at least smells like perfume. In the evening, the whole family gathers for dinner. Tika talks about his plans for staging the show. True, this requires an investor. He himself, of course, will be the performer. The idea is quite dangerous. If no one watches the show, it will go bankrupt. The father hums a song from his youth, and this causes the children to laugh. They're always joking around and poking fun at each other, despite the age difference. After dinner, he apologizes to his pops for cracking jokes about his measly paycheck, but the old man ain't even mad about it. He's just worried he didn't raise his kids right, 'cause he's barely home. And even though there are a lot of things he couldn't provide due to their financial situation, when he gets home, he realizes he's got everything he needs to be happy. In the morning, the brothers and sister are riding on one motorcycle, but up ahead, there's some cops, and so they don't break no rules. They quietly get off the ride. The cops are stunned. Why's the girl wearing a helmet when she's just walking on the sidewalk? And she says it's 'cause she's being real law-abiding. Sometimes, to get a chance to eat some good grub, relatives crash other folks' weddings. But this one time, they got caught and got kicked out in shame. Ma's been nagging me more and more with questions lately. Pops keeps bugging the little man about his future, saying it's time for him to move up to middle school. If the older kids manage to get a decent enough education, there just ain't enough dough left for the youngest, no matter how much Mom tries to sell more of her homemade cookies. But Dad reassures her he'll sort it all out. Tico accepts the invite to compete in the physics Olympiad, even though she studies something else, but no one disputes how smart that girl is. His shoe will come undone right in the middle of class, you know? His classmates are gonna laugh at him, so the poor guy walks out and sits on the stairs all bummed out. But then his friend comes to find him. The friend says, "My bad for laughing," and offers to lend the guy his spare shoes, because you can't just go home barefoot. Meanwhile, this business lady is heading to meet some investor, but it turns out to be some politician running for office. The dude's all embarrassed because society looks down on that kind of thing, but they try to convince him anyway. At the end of the day, the dude's only gonna say a couple of lines during the show. Despite the money troubles, the fam's keeping it real tight and having a good time. Until one night after dinner, the kid comes up to her pops to do their usual thing of chatting about the day. The girl thinks the guy's dozing off, but then realizes her old man's just passed away, calmly and peacefully. The kids and Mom are torn up and bawling their eyes out over losing their beloved. After the funeral, the family's getting together for a meeting. They gotta decide how they're gonna live now that they lost their breadwinner. Tico and Iduna want to drop out of school, 'cause they need to start earning for the basics. But their mom's putting her foot down on that. The dad really wanted his kids to get a good education and fancy careers, but they couldn't make up their minds, so they just went to bed. The next day, some lawyers and his assistant showed up at their place. They played a video for the grieving family that their pops had recorded before kicking the bucket. And then this crazy thing comes out. Turns out the dude was heir to one of the richest families in Indonesia for the past 21 years. But he'd been living like a regular Joe because he valued his loved ones' love and respect above all else. He also wanted his kids to learn how to fend for themselves. He wants to solve his problems without money. But after he's gone, he wants his kids and wife to not be in need and try to live the life of real rich folks. Thing is, they'll only be given the money in parts, so they can use it wisely. The fam can't believe it, but when they go to the bank, they actually get 500 million rupees. First thing the fam does is decide to hit up one of the fanciest, most expensive restaurants. But the prob was the VIP room there only fits 5 people, so they don't think twice and invite some regular ice cream vendor to join their table. So there's this dude standing in front of a restaurant, and he's chowing down with his crew. After that, the whole gang hit up this fancy-ass store to ball out and buy all the fly shit they've always dreamed of, but couldn't afford before. The next day, this uncle suddenly became the center of attention at school, rocking all his brand new expensive gears. Word on the street is he started hooking up with this young stud named Bayon, and when this guy's motorcycle broke down, she just casually copped him a new one for like 19 million rupees. But when he pulled up to her crib, the dude returned the gift. He's used to making his own bread. The fam's just blowing through some unexpected dough they came into. They're balling out on a fancy crib, top-shelf furniture, and even copped 3 whips. Even though none of them know how to drive for real, the girls who used to clown her are trying to get all friendly now. But she's keeping it moving with her new rich and influential crew instead, which is really messing up her studies. She was prepping hard for this physics Olympiad, but that's been put on the back burner now. The relationship's going down the drain with Bae, because the dude's seriously pissed about her gift. The Woodpeckers ain't all peachy in his theater biz either. Now that he's got some dough, he's talking smack about his old actor buddies, saying all kinds of nasty stuff. His ma's acting a fool too, throwing cash at street musicians, making headlines and causing folks to scratch their heads and laugh at their crazy antics. Homie gets to the point where they start going hard on the sauce without any control. Until one day, the lawyer brought another video where the dude said his inheritance. The clown freaks out because they need a ton of cash for their theater show. For the first time in a while, the fam starts thinking, because not too long ago they were getting by with little and lack of money wasn't a big deal for them. Somehow the rich homies distanced themselves from the clown without them even realizing it, and the actors refused to perform without getting paid. Even the Rains are feeling the changes in the family. Homeboy's gotta eat dinner alone now because everyone's just focused on themselves. So this one time at a club, Tico overheard her girls chatting. The chicks were all surprised, like, why is she still messing around when she's so smart? Could be doing way bigger things than just clubbing. Tico heads home and calls up her ex-bestie, practically begging for one more chance to make things right between them again. Seems like she got her act together after that, started studying physics hard, and even joined some Olympiad thing. The mom handed out necessities to the poor folks, while her son found a way to make his show happen. But it all went sideways during the giveaway when people started going nuts and shoving each other. A bunch got hurt in that madness, and they rounded up Tiku along with his former buddies, accusing them of doing drugs. They also accused Dudu of taking bribes from some crooked politicians, ruining the whole show. Luckily, Tiku's blood test came back clean, but the family's troubles weren't over yet. This one evening, a lawyer brought a man to their house, who turned out to be their dad's younger bro they didn't even know existed. He came to collect the remaining inheritance, but the family had to obey the law. The main lesson they learned was that property and wealth are temporary, and an extravagant lifestyle ain't a synonym for success, you know. Now they believe that money and fame don't guarantee happiness. You feel me? They're moving back into their old house and going back to their regular lives, fam. Tika and Bae are getting their relationship back on track, and even decided to tie the knot, you dig? Seems like everything's back on track, but then out of nowhere, this other lawyer shows up at their place, and they show the dad's video again, where he admits he ain't got no younger brother, just his buddy who agreed to play along to show how quickly a rich dude's situation can go sideways. The inheritance is still there, though. Loads of cash left. But money can't buy love and respect. Can't keep friendships solid and make someone truly happy, you feel me? The moral of the story doesn't need repeating, folks. Dad's last words summed it all up, plain and simple. But why does someone have to hit their head to get the truth, you know? It'd all be crystal clear to everyone, buddies. Thanks for watching, y'all. Drop your thoughts on the movie in the comments, and don't forget to smash that like button and subscribe, please.